Hello, my name is Jordan. Today I'm just making a video on just types of businesses that you can own, be a part of, just more about what they are, how they run, and just a bit of research on sort of a business that I've looked into. So I don't know how well you guys know what types of businesses are what, but I'll just run through sort of the basics in regards to what types of businesses there are out there, what they do, how many people are in them, and that sort of thing. So we'll start off with the first one. So the first one is a sole trader. So pretty much what a sole trader is, it's pretty much that one person or two people running a business. It's usually within sort of local towns. It it's pretty self-explanatory, really. It's a business that can contain up to five people there. It is cheap and easy to run, so you've not got all of the costs of other employees. You've not got, for example, when you've got a national business, you've not got multiple stores to look after electricity bills. So it's probably one of the best ways, and one of the ways that most people start up their own business, business management, just because it's the way that you set up your own business. Now the next one is sort of similar to it. It's just a little bit more in regards to the amount of people and what they do. So the next one is local business. So what that is, again, it's within sort of local towns and local high streets. It's a business that you're not going to find anywhere else other than in that specific location. For example, where I used to live, there was a butchery. You're not going to find that butchery anywhere else other than that location. Again, it can contain sort of between 5 and 10 people. You've not got that many people to run just because it's a local business, so it shouldn't be too hard to sort of manage. I say it's not too hard to manage. Obviously, I don't know if you've sort of, I've researched the figures, and when a business does start up, the in the first year, 40% of businesses do fail. Now, in the first year, I know this is sort of going off topic, but in the first year, you are going to be in debt. There is going to be a lot of outgoing costs that you just can't control. Obviously, once that year has passed, you then go into the second year, you can then pick yourself up off your feet, get to sort of where you're planned to when you first started the business idea. Now, the next one is a national business, so it's a little bit bigger than a local business. It surrounds a larger area of the country. One good example of a national business is Next, so you'll see most places will have a Next chain. It's a store that sells clothes, so you're going to see it pretty much everywhere. So it's sort of based in and around the UK. The next one you've got is multinational, so it's similar to national, it's just not based in the UK only. So multinational is you've got the main business in the UK, but then you have offices outside of the UK. You've got head offices that could be somewhere else. You can have global management. Um, it's not just in the UK that it's based, but obviously most of it will be in the UK. Most stores, most factories, that will mostly be in the country of its origin. Now the next one that we've got is global business. So again, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a business that it's located in multiple different countries. Just trying to think of an example. So I know it's not probably one of the best examples just because the nature of they don't have the same name, but I know that in America or the United States, you've got Walmart, which is also Asda in the UK. Now, obviously, it's the same company, it's the same CEO of the business. It's just they're under different names, just due to, I'm assuming, data protection reasons, or I don't know, copyright. I'm not too sure. I haven't done the research on that one. But again, it's pretty self-explanatory. Most of these are sort of you'll be able to understand what they are from their name. The next one is partnership. So a partnership is it's not a local business, but it's definitely not a national business. So there will be multiple businesses within sort of one area, but it's not just one specific business. So I can think of one example where I used to live as well. So there was a dentist. The name of the dentist was the same for multiple different branches, but there were different branches sort of located, so it would be within sort of a 50-mile radius. So it's not a local business, and it's definitely not a national business. It's sort of in between. Sometimes these can be difficult to sort of run just because of workload, responsibility. Sometimes there can be disagreements, so that also makes it quite difficult. Obviously, it depends on the type of business, depends on how it runs. It just depends on what the business you set up is really. The next one is workers' cooperative, so it's owned by people who work for a company. It means they must keep extensive recordings. It's limited liability, which means personal assets are not at risk, which is always a benefit, I suppose. These types of businesses tend to be small in scale, and there's no pressure from shareholders. Um, However, it can be difficult to make decisions. Sometimes they can be quite slow, just based on obviously just the type of business that it is. Now, sort of getting into more bigger ones, so you've got public limited companies. So I don't know if you've heard. So, for example, Tesco's in the UK, you'll have Tesco's and it'll say PLC on the end. Pretty much, that's what public limited company means. You've got other ones on there which it's it's hard to explain when you see it in unless you do your research. You won't be able to sort of put it into context. It's not ideal. So the next one, it doesn't fall under any of these categories just because of the nature of it's not you're not selling it to make a profit. These types of businesses, you don't purposely sell things to make a profit from it. So, as you probably already guessed, it is a charitable trust. So that what that is, it's they don't pay tax just because it's all going to a good cause because the business is not making a profit from it. The government decides not to tax it because all of the money that is raised from selling those goods goes straight to a good organisation or good sort of policy. So, for example, we've got one here. So the British Heart Foundation, all all money that is raised through the products that are being sold, that then goes directly to that sort of organization. So the next one that we've got on the list, this is one of the main sort of type of businesses that you'll find out there. Most big companies will be a part of this one. So it's the public limited company. So what that is, to put it into context, pretty much the business is run by shareholders. Without the shareholders, the business would not survive. Obviously, so they still do go buy their products that they are selling, but without the shareholders putting money into the business, they're not going to be able to run the way they usually would. So what I've put for this one is, as I said previously, the shareholders put funds into the company by buying shares that are sold on the stock exchange. They are huge in size and may suffer bad management problems. This can be, for example, slow decision making. They have limited liability and usually write PLC after their name. So when you see a company like Tesco's, you will say Tesco's PLC, or you've got, I'm trying to think of another company, I'm not too sure off the top of my head, but you'll have companies that are like something limited, so LTD at the end. The shares the business holds are freely transferable, which provides more liquidity to the number of shareholders, which also helps the business to continue, even if the company loses any shareholders. So I think that's the main thing of big businesses, because although they may potentially lose the shareholders, they've at least then got that sort of money they've put into the business already invested in there, so it's then not going to affect the business as much. Obviously, losing shareholders is never beneficial because you've then got less people investing into the business, but at least that the business is not going to be majorly affected by that. The next one is government departments. So pretty much what that is, it's a part of the government itself. It's directly overseen and funded by them. So obviously civil servants, their aim is to complete and provide a service or collect money from the government. Again, same as charitable trusts, they're a non-profit making business, so they won't end up with any profit at the end of it, but their aim is to make as much money as they can to go towards something. The next one is similar to government department, it's just slightly different. So it's called government agency. So the government agency is to take responsibility for particular activities on their behalf. They're more independent than the government department, although they are funded by the government. It's considered freedom to manage their own affairs. They do have tight guidelines, however, which again, as you're probably aware, it's not always ideal. The last one is not really a type of business, it's just in regards to businesses itself. So it's in regards to sort of sectors of a business. So in every business, not necessarily local businesses, you usually have three sort of sectors. One of them's primary, one of them's secondary, and one of them's territory. So a primary business activity is this business that extracts raw materials or grow crops. For example, farms, mining companies, Ford farms, and that sort of thing. A secondary business activity is a business that manufactures raw materials into new products. For example, car companies, obviously they make cars into a new, so they get metal and then put it into a car. The third one, territory, is an activity, a business that sells or provides a service. For example, supermarkets, as I said, Tesco's before, they have a product, they sell it to the customer, and that's the service they're offering to the customer. So that's pretty much sort of all of the types of businesses that you can own. Obviously, as I said at the start of the video, most people will start with a local business or be a sole trader just because that's how they get into the management. Obviously, there is many other ways of getting into a business and going high up. For example, starting as I'll use Tesco's again, starting as someone working on the till, then going into management, and then going into human resources, and then just working their way up. So there is that alternative, but I know that a lot of people do run their own business so they can get a feel as to what it's like to own a business. So hopefully that's been a bit more of an insight on in terms of what types of businesses there are, the types of businesses that you can go into, the ones that you can own. Obviously, getting into the bigger ones as well, such as public limited companies. Now, I did say that at the start I'd use research and examples, but considering how long the video's been going on for, it's probably not worth it. I mean, I did record a bit in regards to Ofsted, but if you want to find out some more information on that, just let me know and I'll do a video on it. But if not, you can just give a little Google search and you'll be able to find more information on there. So as I say, that's pretty much all of the types of business you can own. If you did enjoy this video, do leave a comment, do let me know how I did. This is the first video and probably many more to come, just because I do enjoy doing stuff around business management. So hopefully good feedback from yourselves then mean that I can do more videos in regards to that. As I say, leave me some feedback in the comments, let me know what I can improve on next time. Obviously the editing's not going to be great on this because it's my first video. But other than that, yeah, cool. Thank you very much for your time today. I hope you tune in for the next video, and as I say, leave comments down below. Thank you very much.